What are virtual functions in Python? What is a constructor? And what are the types of constructor? What are the difference between a class and a method? What is an exception in Python? What is a map function in Python? And many more questions like that. Correct. If you are going for the interview, these questions might be interviewer asked to you also. In today's video we will continue our most asked important Python interview question. In previous video, we have seen some important questions. Like, differentiate between overloading and overriding. Define encapsulation in Python. What are access specifiers? What is the difference between multiple and multilevel? Inheritance. In this video we will continue to see some others important questions. If you didn't watch previous video, please watch before this video. You can find the link for my button, or you can find in description below. Before starting today's video, I would like to request you please like and subscribe. It'll not take more than 1 second. So if you're ready, let's start today's video. What are virtual functions? Answer. In Python, virtual functions, or duck typing, is a feature of the dynamic typing system that allows a method or function to be called on objects of different types, as long as they implement the required method or interface. This is done based on the type of the object at runtime rather than the type declared in the code. Next question is, what is a constructor? And what are the types of constructor in Python? Answer. A constructor is a special method in object-oriented programming that is automatically called when an object is created from a class. The purpose of the constructor is to initialize the attributes of the newly created object. There are two types of constructors in Python. Default constructor. If a class does not have an __init___ method defined, Python provides a default constructor that does not take any arguments and does not initialize any attributes. Parameterized constructor. If a class defines an __init___ method, it is a parameterized constructor, and it can take any number of arguments and initialize the attributes of the newly created object accordingly. Next question is, what is a destructor in Python? Answer. In Python, a destructor is a special method that is automatically called when an object is about to be destroyed. The purpose of a destructor is to perform any necessary cleanup operations, such as freeing resources or closing files, before the object is destroyed. Next question is, what is difference between a class and a method? Answer. A class in Python is a blueprint for creating objects, which defines a set of attributes and behaviors that the objects created from the class will have, while a method is a function that is associated with a class and operates on objects created from that class. Here is an example of a class and its objects in Python. Next question is, what is an exception in Python? Answer. An exception in Python is an event that occurs during the execution of a program that disrupts the normal flow of the program's instructions. Exceptions are raised when a runtime error occurs, such as dividing by 0 or trying to access an index that is out of range. When an exception is raised, the normal flow of the program is interrupted and the program execution is transferred to the nearest exception handling code. Next question is, what is a map function in Python? Answer. The map function in Python is a built-in function that applies a function to each item of an iterable, such as a list, tuple, or string, and returns a map object with the results. The map object can be converted to other Python objects, such as a list, using the list or tuple constructor. Here is an example of map function in Python. Next question is, do we need to declare variables with data types in Python? Answer. No, in Python, you do not have to explicitly declare variables with data types. Python is dynamically typed, which means that the type of a variable is determined automatically based on the value assigned to it. This allows for greater flexibility and makes it easier to write and maintain code, as you don't have to specify the type of each variable up front. However, it can also lead to potential type errors if you're not careful, as the type of a variable can change during the execution of a program. Next question is Python fully object-oriented? Answer: yes, Python is considered a fully object-oriented programming language. This means that almost everything in Python is an object, including numbers, strings, functions, and even modules. In Python, classes are used to define custom objects, and objects can have attributes, also known as instance variables, and methods. Python supports inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation, which are the three main principles of object-oriented programming. Next question is, what is the difference between append and extend methods? Answer: the append method adds an element to the end of a list as a single item, while the extend method adds all the elements of an iterable to the end of a list. Next question is, what is functional programming? Does Python follow a functional programming style? Answer: functional programming is a programming paradigm that emphasizes the use of pure functions, immutability, and the avoidance of side effects. In functional programming, functions are first-class citizens and are treated as building blocks that can be combined to create complex programs. Functional programming has several key features, including pure functions, functions that have no side effects, meaning they don't modify the state of the program or interact with the outside world. Immutable data structures that cannot be modified after they are created, which makes it easier to reason about the behavior of the program. Higher-order functions that take other functions as arguments or return functions as results. Python is not a purely functional programming language, but it does have some functional programming features and supports functional programming techniques. What are difference between deep and shallow copies in Python? Shallow copy does the task of creating new objects storing references of original elements. This does not undergo recursion to create copies of nested objects. It just copies the reference details of nested objects. While deep copy creates an independent and new copy of an object and even copies all the nested objects of the original element recursively. Next question is, what is a dynamically typed language? Answer: typed languages are the languages in which we define the type of data type and it will be known by the machine at the compile time or at runtime. Typed languages can be classified into two categories. Statically typed languages. In this type of language, the data type of a variable is known at the compile time, which means the programmer has to specify the data type of a variable at the time of its declaration. Dynamically typed languages. These are the languages that do not require any predefined data type for any variable as it is interpreted at runtime by the machine itself. In these languages, interpreters assign the data type to a variable at runtime depending on its value. Next question is, what are the difference between list and tuple in Python? Answer: here is the difference between list and tuple. 1. Lists are mutable data type while tuples are immutable data type. 2. Lists consume more memory while tuple consumes less memory as compared to the list. 3. The list is better for performing operations, such as insertion and deletion, while a tuple data type is appropriate for accessing the elements. 4. A tuple data type is appropriate for accessing the elements while the implication of iterations is comparatively faster. Next question is, which sorting technique is used by sort and sorted functions of Python? Answer: Python uses the tim-sort algorithm for sorting. It's a stable sorting whose worst case is big O, n log n. It's a hybrid sorting algorithm, derived from merge sort and insertion sort, designed to perform well on many kinds of real-world data. That's all for this video. If you like this video and find useful, please like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to share with your friends.